Welcome back, everybody. Now today I'm back with the product called the Egloo, which is not an egg gadget. This is a product that can supposedly heat, scent, and humidify your room, all fueled by candles. I guess the name comes from its egg shape, but let's see how it works in today's video, starting with the unboxing. Let's take a look at the Egloo. This typically runs about $100 on the official website. Interesting. There's a pleasant smell coming out of there. I'm not sure what I'm smelling, but it smells pleasant. Whatever this is leaking onto my table. Got some oils there, looks like. No clue what that is. Figured it out. Some literature, some more styrofoam, some more cardboard. And there's the bottom. A lot of stuff in there, man. A lot of smells coming out of there. This feels almost like a clay pot. It feels like a clay pot. This almost looks like a pepper spray or something. There's kind of a lot of parts to this. More parts than I expected. Now they claim that it's a portable space heater that heats, scents, and humidifies small rooms while adding a gentle glow. Handmade in Italy. I really didn't find much as far as reviews of this online go, so I'm gonna kind of go blind on this one. So I'll have to read these instructions over, see what I'm dealing with here, and then get started. All right, so I've read over the instructions. I've watched our how-to video about 4 times to make sure I do it right. I think I'm ready to get started. And here I have everything kind of strewn out here. I've been kind of reading over the instructions. Now, I did see an Amazon listing for this, but it was much more expensive than buying it direct. I think that was a reseller. There were only a few comments. They weren't very positive though. And they do offer gigantic refills like this one. They have 50 and 100 refills for $25 and $45 respectively. But now it's time to get started. I'm actually referring to their instructions and the how-to video at the same time, just to make sure I do it right. Get my reading glasses. I'm getting serious here. Step number 1, insert the metal plate into the terracotta base. There we go. The next thing we're supposed to do is get the 3 wicks out of here. So these 3 wooden wicks go in these 3 holders right here. So let's do that. Wick number 1, wick number 2, and wick number 3. Now inside the base, they kind of show you where to put the wicks, so I'll do that. Kind of line them up with these markings here. The wicks are in place now. So right now the instructions say to add the wax next, but their how-to video says add water. I guess it doesn't really matter. See it fill all the way up? It's filled all the way up. Next up, we add our wax. I'm assuming this is the perfect amount since it came in this pre-measured bag here. Kind of reminds me of the photon candle I recently did, which has similar sand-like wax to it. Now we're supposed to kind of even this out and let the wicks show through. My wax is a little bit clumpier than theirs show. I guess I can kind of break that up, but it seems kind of hard. But as long as the wick's showing, it should be okay. And the wicks are kind of poking through here. Now they say we can add up to 10 drops of this fragrance. This is the Melagranata. Let me smell this before I add any fragrance, because sometimes these fragrances are a bit much. Oh, it smells pleasant. It smells actually pretty good. It smells very pleasant, actually. I don't know if I want to go maximum in case it's too strong. I'll go about halfway. 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go 5. Next up, they say turn on the wicks and put on the grill. I think they mean light the wicks. Lighting the wicks. Now one thing they also pointed out somewhere is that it's going to sound like a crackling fire. We'll see about that. But let's keep assembling this first. What step are we up to now? Now we're supposed to place the grill on top of the unit. And you want to make sure that these balls are pointed down so it lifts it up. Otherwise it's going to be like that, which is not correct. You want the balls facing down to create a little bit of a gap there. At least that's how the instructions look. Now we add the small dome on top of that. And the large dome on top of that. So that's what we got here. It looks like a giant hamburger. It looks like a giant hamburger. They should call it the Hamloo instead of the Egloo. I'm gonna turn the lights off and see how it looks with a little bit of darker atmosphere. First impressions are that it looks very nice. It's a very attractive look to it. The scent is very pleasant. It's not too overpowering, although I'm standing right over it. But they say it's gonna take 15 minutes and then we will have heat, humidity, all the good features of it. So I'm gonna let this go for about 15 minutes. All right, when my stopwatch is going, I've got a thermometer here that also has humidity readings on it. This supposedly boosts heat and humidity, so I can check both with this thermometer. 20% humidity and 74.8 degrees is our baseline. I'm gonna leave it right here for about 15 minutes. I'll come back and we'll see how it looks. We are at 15 minutes. Let's check it out. Now, when I put my hands over it, I feel a good amount of heat. There's certainly heat on top of it here. I mean, the heat, I can feel the heat all the way up here, but it really dissipates. I mean, even this thermometer right next to it, it maybe went up a degree and the humidity didn't change at all. So I'm not sure if it's really a space heater, but it does provide warmth, maybe if your hands are right over it. In fact, let's check out the thermal imager and see what that shows. All right, there it is, our hamburger looking unit. And putting the thermal imager here. It has kind of an interesting, it looks like Jupiter or something. It looks like a geyser coming out of the top. Very cool. So you can see it gets pretty warm. I mean, the highest temperature on here is 271 degrees. And there is that stream of heat coming right out of the top of it. So that's kind of cool. I put my hand over, it definitely feels hot. That feels hot. Looking inside, that's what we got down there. It's pretty warm. The higher I get, the warmer it gets. Down here, it's actually almost on the cool side. I'm not sure it's really a space heater per se, but it certainly has warmth when you put your hands over it. So far, I think it works pretty well. I'm not sure about its space heater and humidity claims. That might depend on the area you're in. This is kind of an open room. They showed it in an open room, but maybe over time it'll kind of warm the area. I'm gonna leave my thermometer here. I'm gonna leave it running. I'm gonna see how long it lasts. I'm gonna let this go until it burns out. My stopwatch is still going, so we're at about 20 minutes right now. So I'll come back and let you know how long this lasted before it extinguishes and if the area warmed at all. I will say that it does provide immediate heat to the area. There is a nice scent to it, and it does look nice. So I think most of its claims so far are accurate. So I'll come back when something changes and let you know. I haven't updated the 42-minute mark. The temperature has definitely gone up at 79 degrees here. So even though after 15 minutes it hadn't really warmed up that much, it's been slowly warming up this area. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe it is going to work as a space heater, although it takes longer than I thought it was going to. Now the humidity hasn't changed at all. In fact, it's 16%. I think it started at 17. It's actually gone down by 1. But the heat factor is certainly there. This area does feel warmer, so it is working. It's just a little bit slower than I thought. But I'll keep the stopwatch going. I'll let you know when these extinguish. But so far, it's working pretty well. All right, so it went out a little while ago. It lasted about 5 hours. I let it cool off. Let's take a look. And that is clean as a whistle. There is nothing left in there. Look at that. It's all completely gone. The wicks are completely gone now. All right, so at this point, if you don't have any refills, you're kind of out of luck. Or are you? Just on a whim, I want to try something else. Now, you certainly could buy more refills, which you probably should. But what if you don't have any, you still want to use it? How about some cheap dollar store Tealight candles and see how they work? I bought a pack of 20 of these for $1.25. I'm just gonna load them up in here and see what happens. I'm just gonna put them just like that, kind of in the same triangular pattern. Let's see if the cheap Tealights can also do the job. I'm gonna check back in 15 minutes and see how warm it is as compared to the first time, and also see how long these last. So let's check back in 15 minutes and see how that goes. It's been 15 minutes, let's take a closer look. Now first up, it is warm over it, just like the other unit. Let's take a look at the thermal imager again. Once again, it looks kind of like a Jupiter, and we have temperatures in the 200 range, so it's similar to last time. So far, so good in there. So I'm gonna see how long these last and what happens when they completely extinguish. What's gonna happen with the wax in there? We shall see. But so far, this seems like a viable alternative, but we'll know more when these are done. All right, it's been about 3.5 hours. The Tealight candles are out. They didn't last quite as long as the wicks that came with the Egloo, but let's take a closer look. And there's nothing really left in there. It just comes right out. Comes right out. All right, so you can use Tealight candles in a pinch, although they don't last quite as long as the wicks that came with the Egloo. But let's take a look at the pros and cons of this product now, shall we? Now, as far as the pros goes, they claim that it can be used as a space heater, and I guess that's kind of accurate. It doesn't provide a lot of heat, but it does seem to warm the immediate area a little bit. It's an attractive display, and the oil that came with it's actually quite nice. It also seems to be quite well made, although to me it looks more like a hamburger than an egg. Now, as far as cons go, it didn't really humidify the area at all that I could tell. It seems a bit expensive, although last time I checked the website the price was lower, so maybe they're working on that. Right now they don't seem to be on Amazon, so you have to get refills for them, or you can use something like Tealight candles in a pinch. But overall, I do kind of like it. I think I'm gonna keep using it, so I'll let you know in about a year how it's held up. But if you've used the Egloo or something like it, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.